Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. A guy line is special guest back for the second time. CEO of Funny Car Chaos, Chris Graves. How's it going, Chris?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. So you want a recap of last year's four events, Chris? We'll do a little recap. You started out MoCon last year, April 27th, 28th. What's your recap on that one, the first event last year?
Sure, yeah. Last year, MoCan was a great event. You know, I've known Carl at MoCan for a long, long time, and looking forward to, having Funny Car Chaos at his track. It's always been one of my favorites, and started out the year well. It was a year of experimentation, really, for us, going to new places and seeing if the Funny Car Chaos program was an appealing program outside of where we started here in North Texas, and it certainly was at MoCan, and the fans seemed to love it, and the track loved it, and we loved it, and we had a good time, so we're certainly going to go back. But that was a good way to kick off the year.
Yeah, in case anybody doesn't know that's listening, he started off Funny Car Chaos 2017 with one event only. Then last year it's four
Right.
events. Then you went to Amarillo June 1st and 2nd. How'd that one go?
Yeah, that one went good. I kind of want to jog back to MoCan real quick.
All right.
One memory that stands out at MoCan was Fred Farndon, who's been running nitro since the 60s, possibly even the early 50s. He's got a career of drag racing, and he's an Oklahoma racer, and he was there, and he made it to the final round, get Ken Singleton, and it was really cool to see they were having mechanical issues and borrowing parts off David Gallegos' car, and Dave's crew was over there helping them, and it was a thrash every round, and to watch them win first round and the semi and the celebration, the crew enjoyment, and the crowd was into it, and watching the thrash back in the pit to get the car serviced was just, it took you kind of back to the good old days, and so I wanted to touch on that, and how enjoyable it was to watch Fred and his guys and the other guys all come together to get Fred serviced and up there for each round, and Singleton ended up beating him in the final, but it was a cool deal to see that. So that was really cool to see Fred do well and go runner up there.
And Fred drives the Play It Loud Nitro Funny Car.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So yeah, then we went to Amarillo. Amarillo was great. It's definitely a track with a rich history, and it had been kind of quiet up there for a long time as far as any kind of nitro shows, or much less any kind of funny car shows. So to go to a track like that, I was really excited to run up there. We ran our dragsters up there several years ago, and that track has remained untouched for a long time. I mean, it's still got the walkover bridge behind the burnout box and the same tower, and as far as I can tell, a lot of the same. It's all the same concrete and the same pits and the same return roads, and there's a lot of stuff that's just like it was in 1960s. But it was cool to go up there, and again, kind of a test in the market situation. We didn't know whether there would be 5 people show up or 5,000. We just didn't have a clue at all, and ended up getting over 20 cars to come to Amarillo, and had a great crowd, and the fans loved it, and the racers seemed to love it. Dealt with some pretty wicked weather. It was about 103 and blowing 30-mile-an-hour wind full of sand on Friday, followed by a 75-degree day on Saturday. So it was a chaotic weather situation, but got it all handled, and everybody was safe, and kind of took you back to the old days again, because the track was a little tricky there, and so it was interesting to see these big horsepower cars try to stick down through there. So it had you on the edge of your seat. It was exciting for sure, but it went well, and the fans just loved it. I mean, that was one race that stood out, that the fans afterwards were sending messages and talking on the drivers on Facebook, and just so appreciative to have the show at that track, and so we're most certainly going to go back there this year, and the fans are begging for more, and so we're really excited to go back to Amarillo also. It was a really cool deal. I know Andy Mears told me he ran out of T-shirts at that race. I mean, the fans were getting autographs and buying shirts, and it was just a really cool deal. So, looking forward to going back to Amarillo, no doubt.
Yeah, I know the fans were really appreciative of the drivers coming back down the return road.
Yeah, the return road there is right on the fence. So there was trucks lined up, past the quarter mile, and the cheering and the screaming and yelling, coming from the tailgaters there. I had racers, they still tell me, coming down that return road was the best part of the race because the fans were just freaking out and they loved it. And, it made the racers, when the racers feel like they're impacting the crowd and appreciate it, it really changes the way you look at what you're doing. So it was a lot of fun, and that's gonna. I'm sure it'll be the same way this year.
Yeah, you're bringing funny cars to these tracks where the crowds are hungry for funny cars.
Yeah, that seems to be certainly something we take to consideration when booking events, and that's just kind of the way that this was built and the way that I'd like to keep it, coming into the smaller tracks and coming into unique markets that don't see a lot of nitro and don't see a lot of funny cars, and taking these smaller tracks and putting them on the big stage and bringing big shows in there and giving the local fans a badass show to come watch instead of, something regular, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like the track by me, Great Lakes Dragway, they get 2 nitro funny cars every year. That's it. And I know I told you about that track before, Great Lakes Dragway, Union Grove, Wisconsin. They've been open since 1955, but they got different owners that've been there last 25 years, and they just don't bring the lot of funny cars in there.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of, I mean, you can go to your big stadium tracks and you can certainly go watch the big show and but the grassroots kind of old school vibe is certainly still alive in these smaller tracks, and so those are kind of our targets when we're looking to shop schedule stuff. So.
Yeah, I know that this weekend you're going to the March Meet. You're going to see plenty of funny cars.
Yep, we're excited about that for sure. Always a really, really good race out there, and it's the big daddy of Nostalgia Nitro for sure. So watching those boys go out there, and those are the best of the best out there on the West Coast, and running in the Heritage Series and running quarter mile and all of that. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. It started out looking like some bad weather, but every day it's getting better. So now actually the weather looks really good. So they should be going plenty fast. It's going to be cold out there, so they're going to be flying.
Oh, yeah. All right, so now next you went to the Central Illinois Dragway, July 27th, 28th.
Sure did. Yeah, that's a really cool track. Never been there, never heard of it. Found it, just kind of searching around and talking with the guys there, Jeff and Frank, and got that deal done. And again, going in there knowing absolutely nothing about what was going to happen. We didn't know if that's a market for Funny Car Chaos or not. There's plenty of nitro shows with a lot of really top tier tracks in the area up there doing a lot of stuff. So we had some competition, and you come in there and there's 18 funny cars for a 16 car field, and we had some McIntyre and John Hale came up, and several from down south, but also that particular race stood out as the first race for a lot of first time Funny Car Chaos participants from up north and from the East Coast. So there was a lot of first time racers there, people that I had never met before, and to see that many people that I don't even know personally, have never met before, show up on my race and want to come play and have fun was really amazing. And what a bunch of great group of people. I mean, every car there, everybody was smiling and shaking hands and having fun, and they just had a blast. And so that track was great. It's literally in the middle of miles and miles and miles of cornfields. It's like, and there was a lot of us there for the first time and never been there. So we're on Google following the map, thinking, man, there's no way this is right. And you come around the corner and bam, there's the entrance, and there's a drag strip down here in the middle of nowhere. But it was a really cool track. It's got surrounded by trees and stuff, and a real pretty atmosphere there. And We got blessed with some good weather there, and certainly had a great race. And McIntyre came out on top there. He also ran the first ever 200-mile-an-hour run by a motor-driven vehicle at that track in its 50-year history, so that was awesome. And ended up winning the race. And so, Rick Wilson won B field there over Joey Haas. And so, just getting a lot of new guys involved in Chaos was great, and working with Jeff and Frank there was great. And again, we're going back. So that was really cool that all the races we went to last year immediately signed us back on. And everybody had a really good time. So we're excited to go back to everybody that gave us a shot last year, including Havana for sure. Yeah,
they got the drivers that were at Havana. They got lucky that Singleton wasn't able to make that event.
He's coming this year, so we'll see. The car count there should be pretty strong. There's, well, I guess we'll get into that here in a little bit, but the points championship thing has certainly sparked interest in a lot of the teams, and so a lot of them saw how Havana went, and have already told me I've got a big crew from Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri coming up there. So the Texas boys and the Oklahoma boys are coming to Havana, that's for sure.
Yeah, though Keith Jackson went into the cornfield at that event.
That was wild, yeah. Yeah, well, that appropriately termed the event by my announcer, David Ratton, termed it the Chaos in the Cornfield, and it certainly lived up to that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then the last event last year was North Star Dragway, September 14th, 15th.
Yep, went into North Star. That's where it all started. Gene and the boys down there do a great job, and that's a real fast racetrack. So it's good to, that's another thing that's unique and exciting about Funny Car Chaos is, some of these tracks are older and a little more bumpy and a little more, whatever. And so you can't maybe lay down your 360s at some of these tracks, but that's just the way it goes, and everybody's got to run the same track. But anyway, North Star is a fast track. It's the quickest 8-mile track in Texas, which says a lot. And we had plenty of power at that track. There was 30 cars at the last race. Certainly, over a dozen that could run well into the threes. Weather got us pretty good at that one. Ended up raining out Friday night after several hours of us trying to get ready, and finally getting it dry at about 8 o'clock, and then the next cell blew right in there and just ended the deal for Friday. And then Saturday we got the first session off there and got more rain. And I got to give a prop to Ray Kelly, my jet car partner here that comes with us to the Chaos races with his jet dragster. He fired that thing up 3 different times and went down and helped us try to dry the track with his jet car. So we did get it dry and able to get the race in. And Ken Singleton won that one. Of course, he won Mocan and Amarillo and Benton. So the 3 races he entered, he qualified in the A field at all of them and went to the final round at all of them and won all of them. So he's going into this year undefeated. And so he's got a target on his back. But that was a really cool race. Keith Jackson and Indy Mears were in the final of the B field, and Singleton and John Hale were in the final of the A field. I think it was a 392 to a 393. Just side by side, alcohol funny car versus nitro funny car. I mean, that's exactly what Chaos is. That's what it's about. So that was a good way to end the year.
Yes, sir. Now going into this year, you got 7 events now.
We sure do. Yeah. The momentum, proof concept, I guess, if you will, with the 4 races we had last year that were all pretty good and successful and everything. So we felt comfortable and kind of stepping out a little bit. And discussing adding a few events to some of the tracks that were wanting to get involved. And so we've got, the big one there at US 131 at Martin, Michigan is very exciting. Obviously, anybody who's been there knows the capability of that track and how well run it is. And that's another up north event to benefit the guys up there that support us when they can. And so we're real excited about going to Martin. That's in September 6th and 7th. We've added a spring race at North Star, so kind of like NHRA does at Pomona with the first and last race. We're going to do our first and last race back home at North Star in Denton. And then we're going to go to Pine Valley Race, which is in Lufkin, Texas, 2.5 hours south of Dallas, kind of more towards the east, kind of getting close to Louisiana down there. And that's another great facility. It's under new management this year. And so I've been working with the new manager there, Gary, and we're excited to go to that facility. That's a really nice facility and it seems to be perfect for what we got going on. And so we're going to go do a big 4th of July show down there, July 5th and 6th.
So what happened with San Antonio?
San Antonio is going through a lot of changes right now. They changed management, they changed staff, they changed sanctioning bodies, they changed pretty much everything they could besides where their track's located. I mean, it's a full turnaround, which they needed. In that transition, we just kind of got shuffled out, but that's not to say we won't go back or couldn't figure it out as we progress and as they get the dust settled down there. But they got a lot going on down there, and so we're going to just kind of move that deal over to Lufkin for now and see what we can do next year maybe. But they've got some new people down there and a lot of new equipment being bought and a lot of money being spent, and they're definitely putting forth the effort to put out some fires that were started down there over the last few years with several different ownership changes and whatnot. But we're excited about their future and hope they get it going. You know, we hate to see a drag strip, you know, messing around and getting in and having a little bit of issue there, but I think they've got that figured out now moving forward, and they've got the right people in place. So San Antonio has been a big attraction track in the state of Texas for a long time. So just hopefully they'll get it all figured out. Maybe we can go back there next year.
Sounds good. So now you start out, like you said, North Star. You're doing 2 events. You're going to start out there and finish there. Then after the first North Star, then you go to Mocan April 26th, 27th. Then you go May 31st, June 1st at Amarillo. Then July 5th and 6th, Pine Valley Raceway. Like you said, then July 26th, 27th, back to Central Illinois Dragway. Then September 6th, 7th, US 31 Martin, which you said earlier. And then North Star Dragway finishes off the season September 27th, 28th. So
that's it. Got them all spread out real good somehow. There's about a month between each race. I don't know how we did that, but that's about as good of a spread as you could hope for.
So now, after this year, for next year, are you looking to add more?
Well, you know, I don't know. We got to walk before we run, if you will. Certainly, we're in discussion with a lot of tracks that didn't make the schedule for whatever reason. There's certainly a potential to do more. We'll just kind of have to, you know, manage what we're doing now and get our feet wet with this new championship format we're doing, courtesy of Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce and Redline Shirt Club. We're doing a points championship, which is a new thing this year, and we're going to count the best of 6 of 7 races, so you'll have a drop race. And somebody's going to be a Funny Car champion in 2019 for Funny Car Chaos. And so there's over 10 teams have committed to run in for the points, so that's really cool. You know, they're hungry and they want to participate and they want to have fun and they believe in what we're doing and we believe in them. So it's a really cool deal. We're excited to see how this points battle develops. And, you know, just like any other point series, it's going to make the last half of the season pretty critical for those in the hunt there, and just add some hype and excitement to what was already a very exciting year and program. And John Hale and Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce are our title sponsor for the Points Championship, and Redline Shirt Club is a huge part of Funny Car Chaos with presenting the series this year. So we're real excited about how the points deal is going to work out.
Yeah, John Hill and Randy Renew, both great guys.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no question without them and several other people. You know, I mean, it goes all the way down to the bottom. I mean, there's just so many people that are helping out in Funny Car Chaos. But Alki Digger and Gauge of Wheels and Rodax Custom Coffee and S&W Race Cars and Littlefield Blowers and Taylor Motorsports Equipment and Dooley & Sons Hot Rod Shop. I mean, it just goes on and on. All these people are just, without those people, this isn't happening. I mean, it flat out will not happen. So having their support is critical and very much appreciated by not only me, but all these racers and fans who are being able to experience this thing.
So now, are you and Tara going to be driving your dragsters this year at all?
Yep. We've got our first race is next weekend, so we'll fly back from the March meet and hop right in our dragsters for our first SHRA race of the year at North Star, March 16th. So we got 6 races with our SHRA series. So between SHRA and Funny Car Chaos, and we do the Outlaw Fuel Altered program down here, hang out with those guys, and a lot of good racing going on down here this year. We're ready.
So what year did you start drag racing?
As far as driving?
Yeah, driving.
Oh, I couldn't put a year on it exactly.
Well, estimate about how long? Like estimated.
Yeah, probably. We built my dragster in 2013, so that was 6 years ago, and I had got my license earlier than that. So a couple of years before that, just kind of driving friends' cars and guys that would let me hop in every now and then. And even when I was a kid, they had the rent a junior dragster deal down at Texas Motorplex, and I remember being 6 or 7 or 8 years old doing that and running 35 miles an hour, and I felt like I was going 310. So it's always been a part of my life, and my dad took me out there, and we'd rent that junior, and it had a little 2-horsepower Briggs and Stratton on it, puttering down through there, but boy, it felt like it was flying back in those days. But so it's always been a part of my life. But with the dragster we're running now, we built that with Rich Howell and Alan Meyer, my dad, Tara, and over at Alan Meyer's shop in Louisville, and that was in 2013. So this will be year number 7 for the dragster.
So what's the quickest ET you've had with your dragster?
We went to Bowling Green and ran the Hot Rod reunion there. I think we ran a 720 something. We were trying to run 750. Went a little under the index, but 720 I guess is the fastest we've been. And we went to Bakersfield and ran any one out there. That was a 760 and ran right on the number. A lot of the runs there, and so that's about as fast as I probably need to go. I love drag racing and everything, but going 7 seconds in a blown front engine dragster in a quarter mile gets your attention. So it's pretty cool.
So what was your first experience like going down the track with that dragster?
Well, we went and tested the first time ever with that car at Dallas Raceway, which is in Crandall, Texas, which was a state-of-the-art IHRA national event track that is now closed. It was built in 2009 or 10, I think, and man, what an awesome place. They call it the Concrete Palace, but sometimes it just didn't work out, and that track's been closed for several years. But we tested there for the first time with that dragster, and we run a 465 index here in the Nostalgia Eliminator 1 8th mile in the SHRA series, and that night, the first time out, I remember I ran a 485 on the third run, the first full pass. So, and I had driven it a little bit before that. So, it ran good right off the bat. That car has always been a good car and close to the number a lot. And we've won races and finished number 2 in points 4 times. So, it's a fun little hot rod for sure.
So when you take that dragster out, how many crew members you got?
Well, typically it's me and my dad and my stepmom Marlene, and we got another buddy George that helps us out, and that's about it. 2 or 3 people can do it for sure. We're not pulling pistons and pulling heads every round, that's for sure. We're not doing it like the big boys do. So, and I don't want to. So.
Right. Do you have any sponsors for that dragster?
Well, I guess our sponsors would be our partners. Rich Howell, that's his motor and transmission that initially made that whole car kind of come together. Me and my dad bought the dragster rolling, and Rich Howell's power plant and transmission went in it, and Alan Meyer certainly had a lot to do with making it all come together and assembly and everything, and initial tuning, and still helps us out on the tuning. And Rich Howell's still involved, and they're also our good buddies. So
have you reached any milestones in your drag race career?
As far as driving?
Yeah, driving.
We've won some SHRA races. That's about as good as it's going to get for me, probably. Been a couple years, but we've certainly won 2 or 3 or 4 of them. And like I say, we've managed to finish finish second in the championship hunt 4 different times. So close to a lot of championships there. One year I only lost it by 1 point. But just having a safe race and climbing out in one piece and not blowing the thing up or hurting ourselves is a win for me. So that's good enough. Every weekend's an accomplishment if you come home safe and your hot rod's in one piece.
Now, how long you been doing the photography thing?
Long time for sure. I sold my first photo 20 years ago in 1999 at Texas Raceway in Kennedale, Texas, to Troy Green. There's a picture of his frontage and top field dragster. He was down there match racing, and they were shooting film back in those days for anybody who remembers what that is.
Yeah.
All started out on the film camera, man. So didn't get digital camera until 2004. So shooting with film, you can't just hit the button and look at what you did or where you're at or check your settings or anything. It really teaches you how to be a photographer instead of just a clicker. So there's a big difference there, and that was a lot to do with my interest in it. It was always interesting to dial in those settings and hope you got it right and ram off a roll and see how it came out when you go back to the lab, in 4 days to get your prints. I mean, we'd go to race and shoot 3 or 4 rolls of film and wouldn't get our pictures back till almost the next weekend, so you got to get them developed and pick them up and all that. It was just a whole different game back in those days. But
yeah,
1999 is kind of when that whole Max Cackle Photos deal started. And my dad shot photos of. I used the same camera he used when he was my age out at Dallas International and Baton Rouge and Green Valley. Used that same camera until 2003. So
wow,
that was another interesting stat. So yeah, always been a part of our lives for sure, and we still get out and shoot as much as we can.
Yeah, I still got my 35 millimeter Nikon. It's somewhere.
Yeah, I still got the too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this man takes some excellent pictures for people listening. You got to check out Chris's pictures. So what's the best way for them to find your pictures?
Well, you can go to maxcacklphotos.com, and for all our Nitro listeners, because they know what cackle is, but majority of people down here think I'm saying crackle, and they think my name's Max. So, maybe not the wisest choice in branding the name, but maxcacklephotos.com is the website, and it's also got a Facebook page and stuff, and there's plenty to look at on there over the last 20 years of doing photography, so you won't run out of content.
All right, so Chris, what's been your fondest memory of Funny Car Chaos so far?
Oh, that's a toughie. Just being able to share this thing and see how it's just got people excited. To see the enjoyment people get out of it. And, I mean, for me and my wife to be able to do this and to have the people involved that we do that are supporting us and to just see how everybody appreciates it and how much fun they're having. I mean, these racers are like, this is the most fun I've ever had in my whole life. And these are people that have been there and done it. And, so I guess the biggest memory, or achievement there is just knowing that people appreciate it and that they're having fun doing it.
That's awesome. So do you have a most embarrassing moment for Funny Car Chaos so far?
Oh, I'm an embarrassing guy for sure. If I'm not blowing a flip-flop out on the starting line, I remember at Amarillo, had a photo taken of me by my buddy Wes Ramsey. It was hot, and there's a snow cone stand there, and I'm a sucker for a good snow cone, so I'm in line to get a snow cone, and I got a strawberry snow cone, and it's red, and I get through eating the snow cone, and I got these ruby red lips, and I was all sunburned and covered in rubber and wearing a blue shirt. He's got this picture of me, blowing a kiss to the camera with my ruby red lips, and so that's that's a funny moment I remember right off the bat. But, so I got to stay away from the red snow cones.
Yeah. Do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
You know, whenever we're not at the drag races, which is not usually a lot often, we do live out here kind of on the lake outside of Dallas, and so we've got a little boat and some old beat up jet skis, and we get out there and drag all that stuff in the water and see if we can run around. So I guess our biggest hobby really is just kind of trying to relax and spend some time together and get out on the water and hang out and blow up the big rubber ducky and throw it overboard and jump on it, whatever, and just kind of kick back and have fun and have some friends out with us. And, just kind of, try to enjoy the peace and quiet in the summertime around here in Texas, and get out on the lake a little bit. And if we're not doing that, we always try to spend some time in Colorado. One day I'll have a house in Colorado, and that's a hobby of ours, is to kind of go up there and hang out in the mountains.
Now, you don't go fishing?
Oh yeah, we'll go fishing, man. We'll go fishing for sure. There's lots of good fishing around here, and then of course Colorado, we go trout fishing, and so we try to go once a year. We'll do a photographer fishing trip with my buddy Wes Ramsey and Steve Scott, and a couple of the other boys will hop on and we'll go striper fishing in Wes's boat. He's got the old gear set up. He's a professional fisherman. He won't tell you that, but he is. We'll catch some massive striper up on Lake Texoma. So yeah, we're all about the fishing too.
Have you ever gone fishing with John Hale?
Him and Rich Howell, they'll go to Mexico and wherever. I don't know where all they go. Haven't been able to join them on one of those escapades, but that's certainly one thing I would enjoy doing, and we'll have to do one time is get out there to do some of that sea fishing they do and catch some of those mahi and tuna and stuff. That's the real deal there. We've never done that before. So,
have you ever been saltwater fishing at all?
No, I haven't. I think Tara has. Her and her have been before, I believe. But we're not awful far from Galveston, Gulf of Mexico, so it could be a thing that could be done quite easily, probably. Finding those open weekends during race season is pretty rare. So
yeah,
we typically are at a drag strip every weekend from early March, late February till the end of November, early December. So we'll squeeze off a couple ones in there where we stay home, and those are usually spent on the lake.
So now, Chris, after all these years, what still keeps you passionate about drag racing?
Oh man, dude, it's just I guess everybody else probably think the same thing, just the speed and the smell and the power and the people. And I mean, drag racing is just badass. There's just nothing else to it. It's just the coolest damn thing ever, and I love it. And that's, I'm a fan. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just like a huge drag racing fan. I check results for everything. I try to follow who's doing what, and watch it on TV every time I can, and checking results on the internet as much as often as I can. And it's just like, I'm addicted as hell to the sport. There's no doubt about that. And I just love it. It's just, it's just the coolest damn thing I've ever experienced. And there's no way I'll do anything different. I don't know any better. I don't know anything else. This is all I know. So, it's going to be drag racing until I die. That's for sure.
Yeah, one of the greatest things about drag racing is the big family atmosphere.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we have met just the most amazing people that we can call our friends. It's just unbelievable. I mean, so many good people in this sport, and that is a big part of Funny Car Chaos and SHRA and the things that we're doing here. And there's just, you see these people at the racetrack, but then you call them on Monday and try to go to dinner, like, hey, we want to go to dinner. Let's go do this. You still hang out with them outside of the racetrack. And so, yeah, totally. I mean, the people in this sport are just outstanding.
Then with the Funny Car Chaos events, you just keep meeting more and more people, and the family just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, man.
Yeah. There's some new cars coming this year, and there's some cool stuff. I mean, there's some really cool cars coming. that people are building cars. There's cars that have been sitting for 5 years that they're, knocking the dust off of them finally because they got somewhere to go. And so it's going to be a good year. Everybody's really excited about it, and we're definitely looking forward to it. And, I mean, it's been a long winter for me. I mean, we've been busy. You stay busy trying to prepare for all this stuff and get everything set up and promotional stuff and I mean all this stuff. It's amazing how many hours it takes to get this stuff to where it a 2-day event goes smoothly. But we've been plenty busy this winter. There's no doubt about that, and hopefully all that effort is going to pay off this year.
Yeah, you got drivers moving out or driving pro mods, going in the funny cars. Yeah. Like Brandon Lewis.
Yeah, Brandon Lewis. There's 2 or 3 others that are kind of swapping their door slammers for funny cars, and I don't really know where that came from, but more power to them. Bring it on. We'll be here. Brandon and them guys are great dudes. They've been supporting me with their pro mod at the Pro Mod Fielder Showdown and at North Star Dragway for the past 7 years. I mean, we know Brandon and them guys real good, and we're excited to have them on board for sure. They'll fit right in the deal. So.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an awesome year, Chris. I know you're.
Yep, we're ready.
I know
as we stay dry, we're good.
Yeah, you're itching for that first event at the end of the month, huh?
Oh yeah, man, we're ready. We're very ready. There's a lot of guys, looking to test. The weather down here has been crappy, and it's still crappy, and it's going to be crappy tomorrow. And we're not seeing a breakdown here on the weather, so nobody's really got the test yet. Certainly not any better to the north of us. So a lot of the boys and girls are trying to get out and test, maybe the weekend before the race and possibly the Thursday before the event. There's been a couple of them that have made it out to the track a couple of times. Ken Singleton is one of them. He's got a new screw blower set up on his car, and he went a 381 at 170-something, which is a early shut-off run. So there's a good number there to start off with a new combination. So he's going to be pretty tough, and I know that Howard Ferris and Kevin Kinsley and Shane Ferris with the War Wagon funny car, which is a really cool new funny car that no one's ever seen before, they're looking to test this weekend. And I talked to Alan Middendorf today, and he's looking to test in 2 weeks. And I know Jordan Ballou and them boys are down in Oklahoma with the Ballou Thunder looking to test. And everybody's ready to go. There's just not had the weather break to be able to go get some test runs done. So they may be testing in Q1 on Friday night at Funny Car Chaos for all I know. But they're going to be there, and it's all going to be good, and we're all going to have fun. So.
Now, speaking of Jordan Ballou, that was awesome how you gave him that award last year for making all the events.
Yeah, Racers of the Year, man. I just can't get enough of them. Him and his dad, Russell, are just the picture-perfect example of what Funny Car Chaos is and what I want it to be perceived as and the experience that I want them to have. And, they've got a small trailer with a big old van they drive around, and they cram the wife and the girlfriend and the kids in there, and they just all, hit the road. And, I mean, it's just, like, so cool. I want to ride with them to the races and stuff because, like, this is what it's about, And he'll come and do my free party displays and volunteer to do that. And, it's just they support me. And so, and he's the dry hop king. He gets out there and does his dry hops and stuff and entertains the crowd and signs autographs. And it's just, what an awesome bunch of people and what a great team. And they do great. Their car runs great. They get out there and whoop up on the big boys every now and then and definitely hold their own in the B field. And, just great group of guys. They're committed to the full deal this year, and they're a low buck team, and they got 9-to-5 jobs. They don't have the big transporters and the bunch of tools and the nitro motors and all of that. They're going to every race. To get a commitment like that from people like that means a lot, and so we're ready for some Ballou Thunder in 2019 for sure.
I know Jeff Cameron is ready for some Funny Car Chaos too.
Oh, he's ate up. Yeah, he can't wait to hit the gas in that thing. Poor guy, he wants to go test too, and there's just not had a chance to get out there and hit it. But and he really hasn't had a lot of time in that car yet. So this year's going to be a busy year for him. He's going to be running Funny Car Chaos and SHRA with Austin, and he's ready. He's we talk all the time, and he's definitely ready to strap back in that thing. So the Magnolia missile's coming at you.
Oh yeah. So I think we covered pretty much everything. Chris, you got anything else to add?
Oh, man, I just want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate letting us get on here and talk about what we've got going on, and definitely everybody can go to funnycarchaos.com and check out the schedule. And if you're around and open on the weekend we're in town, then come on out and hang out and meet these guys. Every ticket's a pit pass, and these guys, they want to meet you, and they'll shake your hand, and they'll throw you in the car and let you sit in it, and they'll sign their autographs, and tell you all about their car. Everybody's got a car, and everybody's got a different combination and a different body style, and so there's a lot to experience in the pit and stuff. So, check us out and join us at the races, and come out and have some fun and talk to these drivers. They're a bunch of great people.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on here, Chris, and we'll definitely get you on again, probably either later this year or next year. Every year you do the Funny Car Chaos, I'll get you on.
You got it, buddy. No problem, man. We'll be around.
All right. Well, you have a safe trip going up to the March meets.
Yep, we'll do it. And thank you again for having us. Certainly appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. You have a great night.
All right, buddy. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.